Let me ask you a question, and play along with me, because it's not a silly question, even though it may appear so on the surface. What is 2 plus 3? Obviously 5, right? Is 2 plus 3 always 5? Think about this. What are 2 cars plus 3 houses? Is that 5 something? I guess you could say 5 objects. What about 2 cars plus 3 cars? Now that's 5 cars, isn't it? So what's the difference here? In this case, we're adding like items, like terms. So it's as if in algebra, when you see 2x plus 3x, you get 5x. But up here, 2 cars plus 3 houses, can't add that because they're unlike terms. It's like trying to add 2x plus 3y. Now, the only place we generally only think about 2 plus 3 in its purest form is in a math class. In the rest of the world, we always attach names to numbers because numbers count quantity. And so we identify always, in the real world, we always identify a quantity with some kind of label, some kind of name. And this is what I'm going to call a unit. And so, I have 2 children. You may have 3 dogs. My car gets 30 miles per gallon on a good day. You may make, so many dollars per hour. All those numbers came with labels, with words, which I call units. And we cannot add unlike units. We can only add like units, or like terms. And so this whole discussion is very similar to what you learn in beginning algebra about combining like terms. And in fact, in real life, we only add things together if they are like terms. So what are 2 apples plus 3 oranges? You can't mix apples and oranges, can you? So it's kind of funny then that people who teach math, most of them never talk about units. We always work in the abstract, don't we? Well, I hope to do my small part to turn that around and get you to thinking more about these units, because here's something that I find has been true ever since I started teaching. Most people, when they miss a word problem, it's because they're misusing the units in the problem. Nothing else. Because usually the algebra is not bad in a word problem. It's the translation of the information into the proper equations. And let me ask you this question. Would you add 45 miles? Let me print this. Would you add 45 miles per hour plus 3 hours and get something, I don't know, 200 miles? Does that make any sense whatsoever? Of course not. Miles per hour, that's a rate of speed. Hours is a time measurement. And so how can you add a speed and a time and get a distance? It makes no sense. But many times I've seen people make mistakes of that sort because they're leaving out these words. And when you leave out these words, then they're creating algebra equations with x's in them and have no idea that they're mixing up units in a way that's literally impossible. So, first thing to think about, if word problems are hard for you, then maybe you should listen to me and think about the units in the problem, because chances are pretty good those are the mistakes you're making when you get these problems wrong, is by misusing those labels, those units. Okay, so let me kind of introduce you a little bit to this topic through the types of word problems we're going to do in this section. Now these problems are, sometimes they're called mixture problems because we mix certain things together. So I'm going to write a problem on the board and begin to talk through it.